Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Richard Grannon and Friends podcast. I'm joined today by my friend Stella. Hello, Stella. Thank you for coming on. Hello. Let's start with where you are from. Where are you from, Stella?
I'm Croatian.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming from a very small country in, let's say, Eastern, Central Europe.
Somewhere around centrally, easterny, southerny,
Yes. Balkanish.
Balkanish.
My friends are going to kill me.
Yeah. They'll be like, it's not Eastern
It's
Europe.
not Balkan.
We're
It's
not
not Balkan.
Oh, they don't like saying it's Balkan?
No.
Oh, really? Why?
No, like Croatians are always protesting when I say that we are on Balkan. Because we think in general that we are better than that.
Ah, okay. I understand.
We are proud.
You're proud. I understand when they say it's not Eastern Europe, because when I look at the map, I'm like, well, it's not really Eastern.
Let's say like
It's kind of southern.
Central. Yeah.
Southern. But not Balkan. I've never heard that before. So they don't want to be Balkan?
No.
It's not a question of geography. They're just better than people from the Balkans.
Exactly. And this is what separates us from the rest of the Balkan.
I see. There is a song, though, by a Croatian singer called Hey Balkano. Do you know that one?
No, I don't know. I've never heard about
I know
this.
some trashy Croatian pop music. She comes out with like two pistols and like fires it. Hey Balkano.
I've never heard this. No.
Okay, maybe I made it up. No, I think it's real.
Let's check later.
Yeah. So where in Croatia are you from?
I'm from Split. It's a beautiful city on the coast.
You like Split?
I love it, yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's a big tourism spot as well, isn't it?
It's a huge tourism spot. Actually, our people are living from tourism.
Yeah.
So it's very funny, actually, because it's very hard to rent an apartment there.
Mm.
And nearly all people who are my age, and I'm not that young, are living with their parents because we are renting everything.
Yeah.
Everything is just for tourism. So it's a big touristic spot.
And that tourism cycle it's like 4 or 5 months of the year, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, it starts, let's say, late May till late September. I would say even October. We call it like Indian summer. So if the beginning of the autumn is nice, we have this Indian summer. So yeah, it's 5 to 6 months a year.
That's good.
Yeah.
So there's so much of your story to cover. I'm not even sure where to begin. You eventually went to study law, right?
Yes.
When you were in school, what did you want to study?
Actually, that's a very tough question because I remember very well when I decided to study the law because when I was very young, I wasn't that much into the maths. Foreign languages, actually, I didn't like. I don't know why.
'Cause it's hard.
I forced myself to learn English because I wanted to travel the world, and then like you should know English. And I taught myself that I don't have like any talents, and my father is a judge. And then I was like, maybe I should study the law. That was one of the reasons. And some of my very close friends during the high school, they decide to go for a law. And I was like, maybe that's good decision. Maybe I should go there. But actually, my heart wasn't there ever.
In law?
We forget, like, if I forget on Ally McBeal and similar shows.
Were you watching Ally McBeal?
Yes. And for me, it was like, okay, my life may be like this, and it's not that bad. She has lots of friends. She's kind of successful. She's rich. And it's fun on the court. She has like silly, intrusive thoughts. That's sometimes me as well. So
You could relate.
I could relate.
Yeah.
So maybe I can create similar kind of life for myself. And it looks fine. So why not?
Yeah.
But actually, in my heart, I was somewhere doing the sports because since I was very young, I could imagine myself doing the sports and then acting. And because I loved art, like a lot. I don't know, it doesn't matter if it's a music or acting or painting or drawing. I just like it. And one part of me wanted to go psychology, but actually psychology we have in Zadar, and that's 3 hours from Split, something like that. And
They keep the psychology weirdos away from Split.
Yes.
Very wise. Like
Yes.
not in our city.
Yes.
You go up the road to Zadar.
Yes. So actually, it was in Zadar. And I lived in Vrgorac for 15 years. That's very small city, 100 kilometers from Split. And then I moved to Split for high school and for my college with my parents and brothers and sister. And part of me didn't want to move to Zadar. Although I was thinking about psychology. And at the same time, this is going to sound so weird, when my parents both told me, all psychologists are crazy. So even if
This is slander. Call them up and bring them
sorry,
here.
but they don't understand English. That's a big plus. Although the colleagues of my mom is going to watch this podcast. Please don't translate this ever, okay? The rest of the...
Ciao, mama. Ciao.
the rest of podcast as well. Just keep it for yourself.
So they said, don't do psychology
Yes,
because it's full of weirdos.
Yes. No, they said literally
Crazy
they
people.
are all mad. They are like, don't go there, don't do that. Actually, they were not supporting that idea, although I wanted it, and I liked it a lot.
I'm not denying that psychologists are all mad. It's more I'm just protesting that they would say something so hurtful and accurate.
So yeah, and then actually they were not supporting me in my choices. And when I was talking to them about studying kinesiology, they just ignored it. And one of my very close friends, she wanted to prepare herself for this exam when you're finishing the high school and you're going to the college. And you have to, I don't know, swim 100 meters in 50-something seconds. And my first cousin, he's a swimmer.
Everybody has to do this for everything? Or?
Yes. So this is kind of qualification for the college.
Okay.
It's not just like, I want to study kinesiology and that's it.
Oh, I see. You have to be at a certain fitness level to
Yes.
study.
My first cousin was preparing her for this college. And my brother's friend, a year earlier, he wanted to go this college as well. And I remember very well the comments of our society in general, not just like my family, just do something more useful. That's not serious enough.
Okay.
Don't go that road. That's not serious enough. You're not gonna be able to support your family. You're not gonna be able to earn enough as a professor in some like primary school, doing like PE with kids, doing this college, because like 20 years ago, when I finished my high school, we didn't have like personal trainers. It was just like you were professor in primary school or high school, and that's it. So it was like very messy period, actually.
I just thought like we know each other through narcissism, and then we sort of hang around with each other, and we're often talking about strength training. And well, you're actually training me at the moment for strength training and gym stuff. But the legal side of your life, actually being a lawyer, I don't really know that much about. So that's why I'm interested. This is the inroad into you. It sounds like you kind of compromised and just went, fuck it, I'll just do law then. Was that what it was like? Or were you thinking, no, this is a good way for me to make money?
Fitness?
No, law.
Law. Actually, when it comes to law, I just wanted to belong.
Okay. Where did you want to belong to?
To my family, first thing first.
Why does law...
To society as well.
Why does law equate to belonging to your family? What role does law have in your family unit?
It's not just about my father, who is a judge. It's about his...
Is he just a judge?
Yeah.
He's not an important judge?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's just a judge?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
He's not the head of any judiciary?
Yeah, he used to be, past 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
he used to be the president of the second biggest court in Croatia. At this moment, he's not, and he's having his pension next month.
He's retiring, yeah.
Yeah, he's retiring. So I wanted to belong. For me, it was the sign that I belong to my family. I can be the part of this tradition from my family. I can continue it, and kind of I deserve this surname, like it's a big thing or whatever.
You can win the right to your family name through studying law.
Yes. And society as well. It's not only the family. It's somehow related to society and to tradition as well. Because I don't know if it goes like that in UK or other countries. In US, 100% lawyers and doctors are the number one. So it's the same thing in Croatia. Like if you're a lawyer or you work at the court, you have a nice, decent job, or you're a doctor, you're something. So it's actually not about what do you really want and what do you feel like doing, what you're thinking about. It's not just about the feelings, what you're thinking about as well. Where do you see yourself? It's more about if you want to belong, you have to choose this.
Interesting.
And that's it.
Interesting. I had a similar impulse in my family, but it was with the military, and that was also part of belonging. If you had a role that meant that you had some kind of a license or ID that had the Queen's crown on it, that meant that you're part of the establishment.
Yes.
The closest I ever got was working for the Crown Prosecution Service. But it still had the crown on it, so I was like,
yes,
that is a win. So you wanted to belong, and that's why really law became the thing for you.
Yes.
How long did you study law for? How long was it to get the law degree?
6 years.
How did you find studying law? What was the experience like?
Awful.
Yeah.
Very stressful. And honestly, it was killing me. First year, it was kind of interesting, honestly. Because we had psychology, we had lots of history, we had lots of philosophy as well. It was kind of interesting. And I was like, okay, it's lots of books, it's lots of pages, it's lots of that to absorb. But it's not that bad. It's kind of interesting. But second year and everything afterwards, it was, for me personally, every single morning I woke up and I felt this like heaviness in my chest. And although I was going to my college every single morning, doing everything what I was supposed to do, doing my exams on time, studying every single day, 5 to 6 hours, I felt so bad every single day. I used to hate my life every single day for like 6 years. And then I told myself, once when I'm done with this, I'm going to be done with these feelings as well. But no, it remains same.
So the overriding feeling that you were experiencing when you were studying it, what was the main feeling that you got?
Honestly, since I was like very young, I liked to be active. But when you're studying the law, you have to sit every single day 5 to 6 hours. Even more if you're not smart. I would say 8 to 9, some of my colleagues. So the thing is, or if your focus is not that good, I used to study like sometimes 12 hours because you just don't have a focus.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting 12 hours, but maybe you're studying effectively for 3 hours. But you're sitting 12 hours. It's, for me, it was so boring. It was killing my soul. It was killing my soul.
Why didn't you say, I've made a mistake, I'm not going to do this, and drop out? Was that not an option?
I wasn't allowed to do that.
No?
No.
Ти moraš slušat.
Exactly. Yes. That's the most important part of, actually, that's the way my parents were raising us, and not just my parents, my friends' parents as well. So it's not just me. If it was just me, then I would be able to think, you see, there is a different way. But I would say 95% of my friends were pushing themselves till the end. You know, like maybe 5% were allowed to say, I made mistake, I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to try something else. I literally wasn't allowed to change my mind.
What does "Ty możesz słuchać" mean?
You must listen.
And "Ty możesz" is just you must, isn't it? So
yes,
there's a
you
lot.
must. You don't have a choice, because it's whole this traditional thing. It's very weird because it's traditional, it's cultural, it's bigger than the family. It's not just my family is raising me this way. It's part of tradition and it's part of culture as well. So you must, because finally it's not a war. It's not Second World War. We have our country now. It's not like 90s and the war as well. You're not hungry. You have the roof above your head. And what do you want? Yes, ty moraš slušati. You must listen. And if you just give yourself this, if you dare to give yourself this permission to use your brain, to think for yourself, and to try something different, immediately you're going to hear, no, it's you. It's not college. It's going to be the same thing with something else, because every time when it's something hard, you're going to give up. So don't do that. Just stay there. That's it.
How much of that totalitarian attitude that is often found in, I've seen it in other ex-Yugoslavian countries, how much would you say of that is the religion, Catholicism, and how much is the Tito's regime of, it's not communism.
Yeah, it is.
Was it communism?
100%, yes, it is. It was communism. We were living with this regime. Yes, it's communism.
It was certainly a very strict dictatorial,
yes,
hardline socialist regime, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even being forced to learn Russian, your parents.
Parents, yes.
Parents,
Us,
yes.
no.
Not for you, because it had gone by then, hadn't it?
Yes.
It's already finished.
Finished. Yes, finished.
So the totalitarianism, is it Catholicism or is it Tito's regime?
It's actually both, but it's this is actually very tricky, because it's Catholicism and Tito's politics. It's opposite. It's on opposite side of the spectrum. Because back then you were not allowed to go to the church.
Tell people why you weren't allowed to go to church under Tito's regime.
Because Tito was a kind of Jesus figure, you know, like you have your savior. What do you want?
Yeah.
That's it. So.
And he was trying to get rid of the religion to unite
exactly
the countries, wasn't he?
Yes. So
did they close the churches, or
no,
you just weren't allowed to?
No, you were actually, if you wanna go, you can kind of go, but you should stay quiet about that.
Okay.
And you shouldn't speak that much about your personal views and religious life. It wasn't something acceptable back then.
Right. So even though these are oppositional in certain regards, they both demand total submission.
Yes.
Which do you think is the biggest culprit for the Croatian mindset? When the Croatian mindset is great, there are things you love about Croatia, obviously. When it's not so good, where do you think that's coming from?
Yeah, it's part of our history, 100%. And I would say, yes, it's part of the religion too.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, people are afraid to think. People are afraid to have their own thoughts. And I would say, in general, people don't know how to think. It's just what your parents teach you, what their parents, your grandparents teach them, and you just move on with that. So actually you don't move on, you just continue.
Like intergenerational trauma.
Yes, because you're kind of not allowed to think with your own head. And it's very weird if you start questioning your religion, if you start questioning anything related to tradition or culture or religion, immediately, yes, you're judged. 100% you're judged.
Why do you think people are afraid to think?
Because it's not safe. It's not safe. If you have your own, very own thoughts, and you've never heard something like that from your parents, from your grandparents, from your friends even, maybe you're going to end up really, really alone and completely isolated. So it's more safe not to think, not to have your own opinion, and just to fit in. And then you're part of the crowd. You have family, you belong. You have friends, you belong. That's very important nowadays. And you'll be a happy person. So it's actually dangerous to think, because you may be lonely.
Good quote. I'll probably clip that as a reel. Dangerous to think because you may be lonely. Why do you think you've observed that people don't know how to think? Why do you think that's the case? How did we end up here where people don't know how to think?
I'm going to be that brave to say most of them are lazy.
Okay.
Because you have to give some efforts if you're going to think, and you have to learn how to think. It's not that simple. Because if you just running the same thoughts in your head and you're not questioning the thoughts you're having on a daily basis, you're not giving any efforts. So it's easier. It's easier to live that way. So I think one of the reasons is people are lazy.
That's right. People are lazy and weak. I want to take it back. I think Hey, Hey, Hey Balkano is actually a Serbian singer, and I was confusing it with Luda Kuća.
Yeah, it could be. Luda Kuća, I've heard.
It's Croatian.
But
That's Croatian. Hey
Balkano something,
no,
I've never heard about that.
I think she's Serbian. So you graduated after 6 years of suffering.
Yes.
Catholic suffering.
Yes, very Catholic suffering.
with your law degree. What happened next?
And then I started working at the lawyer's office.
And was then it fun?
That was the most... Okay, maybe I should choose my words. That was very stressful.
I just said, was then it fun? My grammar went backwards. Was it fun then? So it was stressful. Was it as stressful as studying?
Maybe even worse, because all of a sudden I was part of the very weird world. Because I used to work in office for the criminal law, and it was like 4 guys and me, or 3, 4, 4, and it was so weird. All of a sudden, I found myself in completely different reality. From university desk and being a student, now you're surrounded by criminals. You're part of very weird world, and you don't know what to expect. I wasn't actually ready for that reality.
And
I wasn't equipped.
Presumably university didn't help you to get ready for that reality.
No, we just had like huge books, 600, 700, 800 pages, 1,000 pages, exams. And we were able to have our exams only in June and September. And everything you fail in June, you have September. If you fail September, you lost your year. Yeah. So you were just obsessed by studying. And we were not thinking about working. And we were never in touch. Actually, yes, once. It was kind of reward. only 17 of us were at our year 3. It was very tough. And when we started, it was 200 something of us on year 1st. And then 3rd year, it was only 17 of us of my generation.
Wow.
Yes. And as a reward, they took us to one of the biggest prisons in Europe, in my city. And it was fun, honestly. It was interesting. It was literally like from the movies.
Yeah.
And I used to make fun sometimes because this prison, it's huge. And it looks like from the movies. It's Lepoglava in my capital city. And this prison has one half opened part. So when I started working in the lawyer's office and the later on the court, I used to make jokes that prisoners in Lepoglava in this half opened part are living better than me.
Right.
And actually it's not a joke because they had a better life.
Yeah.
You know, they could read whenever they want. This half open part means they are taking the walks in the woods during the day.
Oh,
you
really?
know,
Wow.
I mean, they are monitoring them.
Yeah.
I forgot, like, the way how
Yeah.
they are doing that. But, like, I used to make jokes they are living better lives than me because I was working in the lawyer's office, like, 7 a.m. You there. It depends. Sometimes you're on the court. Sometimes you're at the office. And then you're there whole day. And my boss, he wasn't a nice person at all. He was very bad, actually. Sometimes he lets me home, let's say 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and then all of a sudden 6 p.m., my mobile phone is ringing and he's saying, you have deadline 7 days and you have to finish this, and this. And it was like massive, huge project. And whatever you want, you can come back immediately. You can start tomorrow, but it has to be done in the next 7 days. So of course, you just go. And then you finish 2:30 a.m. And I would say back then I was emotionally so weak. So you finish everything, let's say 2:30 a.m. And then he's like, oh, this guy invited us for a drink. It's 2:30 a.m. and I have to be in the office like 7 a.m. in the morning again. And then when I was trying to say no, then he would say, I don't know how you have a plan to build your own career when you at the very beginning are not ready to push through this. Your sleep is not that important. We have to keep our clients. And then 2:30 a.m., you're somewhere in the bar. And I was weak. I was actually weak. I should be like, back then, more direct. But I just couldn't. And then all of a sudden it's 2:45 a.m. and you're having your whiskey cola. One, second,
drunk?
third. Yes. And then you have to drive back.
All the lawyers are drunk?
Actually, no, I wouldn't be fair if I say that, because maybe some of my colleagues are gonna watch this podcast as well, and some of them are really nice, familiar guys. They have very nice, decent wives and kids, and they are not drinking alcohol. But I would say maybe
family guys.
Yeah, they are.
Because if you say somebody's familiar, it can be an insult. Like if a guy is over familiar, it means he's like touching you and stuff.
Oh yes, they're family guys.
Were they familiar?
Yeah. Yeah, they are actually like family guys with kids, and you can't find them drinking alcohol at 3 a.m. And going crazy. So
Some were, but some were.
I would
guys,
say
yeah.
maybe high percentage of them.
Were coping with the stress with drinking.
Yes.
So how long did your career in law last, and how many criminals did you meet?
I met actually so many criminals, and some of them were very handsome. That's the weirdest part, actually, because you're confused. Like all of a sudden, you see like beautiful man in the front of yourself, but like just don't go there, because it's not that smart. Yeah, like yeah, it is temptation. It is temptation. Actually, the first case I worked on it's very weird. It was my neighbor.
Yeah.
I was on university, I think my last year, when he got shot very close to my house, actually. I mean, like 500 meters from my house. And I didn't even know that this office is having his case.
Yeah.
So that was my first case, actually. When I saw the photos and everything, it was...
Was your neighbor the one who got
really
shot, or did he
shocking.
do the shooting?
He's dead. He got shot.
So were you working defense or prosecution?
It doesn't go like that in Croatia.
Okay.
It's way different than other countries. You can do both.
Okay.
You know, and even every single office is doing everything.
Okay.
It's not, oh, here someone is doing, I don't know, family law, and then there someone is doing, I don't know, criminal and stuff. Like, everyone is doing everything. Just certain offices are doing more of this or that.
Okay.
So it's not like other countries, you know.
Without mentioning his actual name, can I tell the story of the person that we both know? I won't say his name.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we were talking about your experience in law, because we've met here in Dubai through the narcissism thing. And I was talking about a guy who is a soldier from the war, a veteran from the war, who is a neo-Nazi, a proud neo-Nazi. And it's not like we're happily friends with him. Like, you know him, I know him. It's not like our mate.
It's just something like weird.
Yeah, so someone that we both happen to know. I knew him from the martial arts, and it started from an argument about the Nazis. I know him from back in the YouTube days where you could direct message each other, which you haven't been able to do for a long time. We got into an argument about Nazism and racism, and we actually became friends. And then he became a client of mine, buying self-defense DVDs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then he became a client of yours.
Yes.
Years later. So we had this parallel. We both have friends who are the gangsters of Split.
It's very weird when actually you realize that world is really small.
Right.
World is really, really small. And you end up knowing the same people with Croatian name and surname.
He has a he has the most Croatian name it's possible to have.
Yeah, but we're gonna...
We won't say his name.
Yeah.
And then I think it was only last week I told you that I was supposed to work in PAG for him and his group.
Group, yes.
Clan, let's say.
Group.
But these are all, it was interesting for me because when I found out more about him and his background, when I saw the guys who are around him, these vets, the veterans of the war, seriously broken people. They are known as being, I don't know, gangsters or criminals or whatever, but a lot of them are ex-soldiers and they are completely ruined. They're all alcoholics and drug addicts and so on. And you were saying that this is actually quite a common phenomenon.
The thing is, it was very tough for Croatia back then in 90s, because we had a war.
Mm-hmm.
And the war, it was in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And now imagine all these young men having the war for their country. So I think somehow it's defensive mechanism, maybe it's easier to survive all the trauma afterwards. And some of them, I would say lots of them are not that happy with the situation in Croatia at this moment. They have this feeling, we didn't fight for this. We wanted a better country. We wanted something better for our people. So the first thing first, actually the war in our country and the young man fighting for our country, and then afterwards seeing something they were not fighting for, I think it's not that easy. So this thing with an alcohol and even drugs, I think it's a coping mechanism to survive the reality they are facing every single day.
And they would have done things during the war period that would be hard to
I
live
mean,
with.
like, war is not nice thing.
It's not nice.
It's you can't like have a gun in your hands for 4 or 5 years and then afterwards say like, oh, I'm saint. I did nothing wrong. I didn't harm anyone and I just can't go sleep. So I think it's hard. It's really hard. So yeah, it is. I would say yes, it is something common. It is something common, but it's not easy for them. It's not easy to look everything nowadays in Croatia when young people are leaving the country. I used to work at the court for 500 euros, nearly 600. I mean,
month,
that's silly.
a
A month, yes. That's silly. And my university is really tough. It's not something silly. I spent years and years educating myself to work for 500 something euros. And lots of young people are leaving the country. And those guys, veterans, they are looking at us leaving the country and they are facing that. I think it's tough. And they were fighting for something better. They were fighting for a better future. And they never saw it.
To give context, because a lot of people outside of the area don't really understand what happened and how bad it got. There was a story that he told me. His unit was a specialized unit, special forces unit, tasked with reconnaissance of enemy forces. And they were so terrified of being caught because they would almost certainly be tortured to death if they were caught, that they would wear a belt of grenades that they would pull that would blow up and split them in half, so there was no chance of surviving.
That was better choice.
A better choice. And it was called the Kinder Surprise.
Yes.
They had a name for that. And I was like, Jesus, it's going to be hard to stand in a supermarket and wait in line after that. It's going to be really difficult.
And now imagine you're living with that.
Yeah.
You can't forget this kind of experience.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
So that's actually part of the history of my country. And still we are living with these wounds. I mean, like I left, so for me it's easier. But in general, you can still feel it when you're in Croatia. You can still feel that we are kind of stuck in the 90s.
Yes. I'm not familiar with Croatia, but Bosnia and Serbia I've spent time in, and it's not over. It didn't finish. It's not ended as such. It's all still there.
I mean, like, it's really tough, especially for us, because, like, I'm going to repeat one more time, the war, it was in our territory, in our country. So it's really bad, because we were attacked. So, yeah, it's not that easy to move on. It is trauma. It is hard. So, like, I'm not judging them. You know, I think it's really hard to live with that. They had a vision.
Yeah.
They wanted to see Croatia better. They wanted to see us, like, thriving. It never happened. And they are now, like, witnessing this. It's not easy.
That they made a sacrifice.
They were ready to lose their lives. Someone is going to say this is crazy. I'm not going to even make opinion about this because this is like completely different topic and it's philosophy and everything. But that's a fact. They were ready to lose their lives for the country. And they were not dreaming about this. Young people leaving the country and earning their money somewhere else. Spending their money elsewhere, not staying at home, not being happy with situation there. So I'm not judging them. I mean, I can't say, oh, that's amazing, that's great choice. Yeah, they have the right to do this or that or to consume this or that. That's a perfect example for society. I'm not trying to say that, but I understand.
You understand.
Yes.
So to the law experience, how long did you continue working in law for before you decided to stop?
Nearly 5 years.
Did it get more fun? Did it get any easier?
It got like horrible because last 2 years of my career, I was working at the court, and now this is not a joke. I had the mouses in my office, and once I finish my shift, I go back home, and I'm literally frozen. I felt frozen every single day because even the heating of our offices, it was so bad that during the winter, I felt like I'm living somewhere on the, I don't know, North Pole or something. So you're underpaid. You are very well educated. You spent years and years trying to build better life for yourself, trying to fit into society, trying to belong. And then all of a sudden, you're freezing. You're in your jacket all the time. You're in this office where the mouses are walking and jumping around you, and you have 500 euros by the end of the month. And you're supposed to what? Buy your apartment, drive a nice car, because you spent so many years studying. I didn't spend my 20s clubbing. I didn't spend my 20s like consuming drugs and going wild. I spent my 20s in the library. I spent my 20s studying. And then I think you have all the rights from this planet expecting the better life, to expect like better life for yourself. And then all of a sudden you're in your jacket, in your coat, freezing, and mouses are around you. And then some of your, that's not friends, I don't know what's that, part of the society is judging you because you're left. Because you left. Yes, yeah.
So the decision to leave, where did you go to when you decided to leave?
Oh, that was crazy, actually. I mean, literally like from the movies. I woke up one morning and I was sitting at the edge of my bed, and I've done this. This is my life, and this is garbage. I'm 30 years old. I have nothing. I'm unhappy. And my job at the court is forever. That's it. Now I have to wait for my pension at the court. This sucks. I want to change this. And it literally happened that morning when I started. That was like January 8 years ago. And then I was like, no, I have to change. I have to do something to make my life better, because I'm going to end up depressed and fat. And this is what I don't want to. So I didn't have any ideas like what to do. And then I was like, okay, US is not that easy to get the documents. Let's think about Europe. Okay, it's UK or Ireland, because English. And then I was like, okay, UK, no, because you were somewhere in the middle of Brexit. So it was not that easy for me to get the documents as well.
Yeah.
And Croatia was the part of European Union back then. And I was like, okay, this is the easiest option. Ireland, it's close, it's English. I don't have to do like, I don't know what, the magic to get the documents to live there.
It's the EU, and Croatia's EU as well.
Yes. So I left for Ireland. And I was living there for like 4 years, and it was extremely interesting experience. And I love Ireland. Yeah. I really love Ireland.
Where were you living in Ireland?
For the first, I lived in Portmanrock. It's so cute village. I would say it's a village. It's very cute. It's on the sea.
For people who don't know Portmarnock, where's it close to that they would know?
Sorry?
How would they know where Portmarnock is?
It's close to Dublin. It's actually, it's very close to Dublin. It's half an hour. Half an hour driving to Dublin.
And you were there, what years were you there?
8 years ago.
So 2014 to 2018?
No, 16.
16.
It's 2023 now. 2020, 16, 17... 15, 16, 17, and then 18, I went back to Split.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was living in Malahide, which is, so Malahide and Portmarnock are both north of Dublin, aren't they? By the sea.
Yeah.
North. Yeah, they're north.
Yes, north
And
by the sea. Yes.
we were there at the same time.
Yes.
And
It's
I was
quite
with my
weird
I
as
was
well.
with my Bosnian ex living. We were both walking in the same park at the same time. We never met. We were there
Probably
at the
yes, but we never noticed each other. Yeah, it's weird.
What was your favorite part of living in Ireland?
Favorite part? That's hard question. That's hard question. Actually, favorite part. This is weird. This is silly, actually, but it's interesting.
It's definitely not the food.
The thing, no, for God's sake, oh no, food is so bad. It's so bad. But I love Ireland, so yeah. Actually, all my life I have like blocked nose. It's all the time blocked. I don't know why. It's something there. And when I lived in Portmarnock, I was breathing like never before. Maybe because I lived literally at the ocean. I don't know why, but this is my first memory I can recall. I was breathing with the full lungs, literally. So my nose finally was unblocked. So this is one thing I always remember when I'm thinking about Portmarnock. I was able to breathe because now I can't, even now at this moment, I can't breathe properly. But people are so friendly, very loud. I was surprised because I was expecting like, okay, they are living in Ireland and it's raining all the time and everything is so gray. So obviously they are depressed and quiet and silent all the time. And then suddenly they were like Mediterranean people living in Ireland. So for me, it wasn't like shocking experience. I felt like somehow I belong here.
Yeah.
It's not a big difference than Croatia.
Yeah.
They are loud, they are friendly. I mean, coast of Croatia is like that. Continental part of Croatia is...
more subdued.
Yes, and they are not that loud. And they are not that... I mean, they are friendly, but they are not like waving to people on the street like Irish people.
Yeah.
So, yes, I really like people there. And even the architecture, I love it. Especially the churches. It's just like breathtaking. It's like museums. So I really love it.
How did you get into the strength training? What was the transition from law to strength training? How did that take place?
Okay, this is interesting. So actually, I made the decision to educate myself for like personal trainer. And how I made that decision, my ex back then asked me like, what's my plans with my life? He was just like checking on me. And I was like, I don't know. I really don't know. I left Croatia and I want to do something. I was au pair, like 30 years old au pair. That's very unusual. Like, it's really unusual. So I took a walk from Portmarnock to Malahide as usual. And he was texting me and he told me literally, you should be a personal trainer because all the time you're going to the gym and like you were working out all your life. You were into the sports all the time. And so many times you told me that you want to do that. Why you just don't do that?
He commented on your gains as well, right?
Yes. Actually, that's the original story. Yeah. He told me literally, I sent him a photo from the gym. Yeah, he asked me to send him a selfie from the gym. He wanted to see my shape. And yeah, he told me literally, you should go for this. You should go for this. Why you're not doing that? And then I was like, yes, I always wanted to do that, but I felt like it's stupid because you're not going to be able to have like decent money for your life doing, I don't know, PE at school because I was brainwashed.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to see like a wider perspective. I was like a horse like this. It's just professor at the school, primary or high school, and again, you're going to end up earning like few €100. So why you changed the country and everything? But then I started really thinking out of the box, and then I saw so many opportunities in this field. And it was my passion, like always. Even when I was working at the lawyer's office, I was always with this gym bag. All my colleagues know me by like walking around with the heels and gym bag.
And so you were the lifting lawyer. So you competed in Ireland as well, right?
Yes, once.
What was your
Bikini fitness.
How was that?
It was very bad actually, because I ended up skinny. My hormones were in a mess, and I didn't find myself doing that on a long run, because I didn't felt good psychologically, and I didn't felt happy like with my body.
Right.
I felt so bad actually. It was just kind of experiment.
Because you basically just brought your body fat levels very, very low.
Yes, I brought my body fat levels that low that my hormonal system was going wild. And back then, I didn't have this knowledge. And I compete as a natural athlete back then. So I didn't abuse steroids. And I didn't know if you're going that low with your body fat levels, that actually you are ruining your hormones like completely. So I found myself in a very like messy position, and I didn't know that you have to spend few years actually building your body, so you have something to show on the show.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
Yeah.
I just took like couple of months with my coach, and let's go.
Right.
That's it, yalla.
Yalla.
Yeah, and that's just impossible. For example, now, if I want to compete, and that maybe next year, I'll see. Now it's completely different, because at this moment, I have some muscle mass. So if I just do my cut properly, maybe I'll be stage ready in 6 months and still healthy. But back then, no.
So did you become a PT when you were in Ireland?
Yes.
That was where you did your training and completed your training there?
Yes. I started actually working for Evolution Fitness, but like for free, just for experience. So I have something in my CV. It was wild. So I was working in the shops, like grocery shops, and I was working at the gym as well. So basically I was working whole day long to gain some experience at the gym. So I have something to put in my CV, and working at the grocery shops for the living. So I was working like actually from 4:30 a.m. till like 10 p.m. sometimes. And this gym was in Portman Rock, but I started living in Dublin. So I was living in Dublin, working.
Why did you move to Dublin instead of living in Portmaddock?
Because in Portman Rock, I couldn't find a flat. It was all the houses, not buildings and flats.
It's pretty expensive as well, right?
Yes.
I found Malahide more expensive than London Centre.
Yeah, Malahide is even more expensive than Portman Rock. In Malahide, you can find the flats, but in Portman Rock, you can't find the flats. It's all houses. It was really expensive, and you couldn't find a job because it's actually village. So you know that. They have few shops.
Yeah.
They have 2 gyms, or one I think, close to the golf course, if I remember very well. Yeah. So 1 gym close to the golf course and 2 or 3 shops, and that's it. So I didn't have a choice. I wanted to go to Dublin so I can find a job and start living my life different way, not as an au pair. And I couldn't work at the gym and mind kids in the same time because of the shifts. Because with kids, you have to work like 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. because I was minding 1 baby and 3 small boys. the baby was the smallest all the time with me. But the thing is, with this work at the shops, I worked in Aldo, grocery shop, not Aldi, with the Aldi is fancy. Aldi is with the shoes and the bags, not that one, the grocery shop, Aldo. I was working there, the earliest shift ever. I was working this shift when trucks are coming in the front of the shop. So you're actually taking the groceries from the truck, putting it on the trolley and taking it into the shops and putting on the shelves. That was my shift actually. From 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. till 10:30, 11 a.m. And then I go back home, I have a shower, I have a nap and lunch, and then I go work to the gym.
And how did you find personal training with people? Did you enjoy it?
It was quite weird because all of them were asking for the same appointments, because it's very different than Croatia. It's very different than Dubai. Because, for example, here in Dubai, you have lots of females who are like staying at home, and they are just, I mean, not just, they are minding kids. And it's easy to find your working hours. It's easy to make a schedule. It's way easier to organize myself here in Dubai as a PT than it used to be in Ireland. Because in Ireland, everyone is working 9 to 5. Then they want to have their PT session straight away so they can go to the pub.
Right, okay.
So it's completely different.
So everybody wants the 5 till 8 o'clock slots.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And it was so weird. So I was so limited, actually, because they want the same slot. And I don't do like fitness group coaching stuff. It's one-on-one. And I found it really, really hard. It was hard for me to organize myself, to earn decent money as a PT there without, like, as a freelance. This is what I'm talking about, because I was part of the gym for the first Evolution Fitness and then after that Fly Fit. So it was really, really tough. It was hard because I wanted to work as a freelance PT because I don't like to have a boss. I just don't like it. And okay, you have your shift, you have your salary, but if you want to earn more, you have to have your commissions from the clients. And then, for example, you have 5 or 6 people who are interested in PT sessions for you, but you can take 3 and you're a beginner. So you can't charge like PTs who are into the fitness for 10 years, especially if they are pros. You know, if they are competing and they are pro and they are 7 to 8, 10 years at the market and you're only the beginner, you're not in that position to say, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It was tough. Yeah. It was tough. And on the top of that, it was raining all the time. So you just work whole day. I remember when I made this decision to go back to Croatia. Actually, why? Because I woke up, it's 4 a.m., it's dark. I go work in the shops, I finish that, I go back home, I take a shower, I have my nap, I have my lunch, I go straight to the gym, and then when I finish my shift, it's dark again and it's raining. I wasn't happy with that. I couldn't see myself living like that for 5 more years. I just felt like that's it. It's time to move on
Khalas.
and try to, khalas. And that, yeah.
Miss Stella,
Yes, Mr. Grennan.
tell me about Dubai. What brought you to this place?
It's so weird. Story is weird.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's not Dubai. The story is weird. Yeah. So 8 years ago, when I started planning my escape from Alcatraz, I went for the casting for a cabin crew for Fly Dubai in Montenegro.
I didn't know that.
Yes, because I wanted to leave the country and I wanted to live in Dubai. Like so many sunny days and I can travel the world. In my head back then, it was like, I'm gonna travel for 1 or 2 years, 3 max. I'm going to save some money, and then I'm going to see what to do, what's next. I didn't want to be like cabin crew for good. I just wanted to earn some money, have my savings, and then decide what's the next step. But nothing, nothing changed. I just like 3 or 4 days afterwards, I was in my office at the court. But back then I had an amazing doctor. I love her. So every single time when I wanted to do something, to travel or to see my boyfriend, spend with him like a couple of days somewhere, whatever, I asked her for a sick leave. And every single time she was like, yeah, of course, no problem with that. But then when I decided to go Montenegro, I didn't even call her. I didn't, because you have to go, I mean, in our system, you have to go to the doctor and then you have to ask sick leave, and then, you know, that's the first step first. And I was, no, I'm going to this casting, and then afterwards I'm going to think about everything, you know.
Okay.
And I remember I was so disappointed and kind of sad, and I was like, okay, what to do? And then I came to her office and she was just looking at me. You did something weird. I can see it on your face, but she gave me a sick leave. So I could go to the court with all the documents, why I missed my work for a couple of days. My boss knows this. I mean, boss from the court. The thing is, so this happened like 8 years ago. But like I'm living in Dubai now nearly 4 years. And actually, back then, I was doing fitness in Croatia for 5 years ago. So from Ireland, I moved to Croatia. And then I was living there for a year and a half. And I used to have this Croatian mentor for a fitness. And it was a couple of us trainers from Croatia, having him as a mentor. And one day I received a message from my ex. This is weird. Back then he was just my colleague, living in Dubai, having his best life, working for the fitness first. So I just received the message at my gym. They are hiring a female fitness trainer. If anyone is interested, you or some of our colleagues, feel free to go to this web page and you can apply. And I was like, yeah, why not? And I was the only one who was interested. My colleagues were not interested. I mean, ladies, girls. Yeah. And it was June, 5 years ago. And I said, yes, why not? 4 years ago. Yes, 4 years ago, June. And I said, yeah, why not? I'm going to apply, so let's see. So it was kind of complicated. I had few interviews with few different people from the fitness first, like the manager and then general manager and then head office. And we were talking on Skype. And the last one was, I think, early July. And I forgot on that. I was just like, yeah, whatever, it's done. I had my vacation. I was working at the gym in Split. It's one of the most beautiful gyms I've ever seen, honestly. It's really something. So,
What's the name of the gym?
Joker.
There you go. She should get a free pass. And I'll take one too. Joker Gym.
Yes.
Yeah, this beautiful
It's
gym.
one of the most beautiful gyms I've ever seen.
I agree. 2 free passes.
Let's see.
Actually, I'm going to visit you in Split this summer.
Yeah,
so
looking forward.
I'm going to knock on the door. I'll show them the Instagram reel. I'll be like, you are owed 2 free passes at your lovely gym.
Yeah, let's see.
So when you were working, obviously, you came to work here in Dubai. It was not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, it wasn't a very pleasant experience. Why? Because it's actually very smart for them and very bad for employees. I mean, their approach and the way they are hiring. So you have your shift. And for this shift, you have your basic salary. And that basic salary, it's not enough to cover your basics. I'm not talking about the luxury. I'm talking about the basics. So the basic salary, it's not enough to cover your rent, your food, and your car. It's not enough. So your shift is 8 hours. And then during your shift, you have to find your clients at the gym floor. And it's all about the sales, actually. And I was shocked by that because I'm kind of not a salesperson. I'm PT. Back then, I was still naive. I was just like, okay, I'm fitness trainer. I know my job. That's it. But then all of a sudden, you have your shift, and actually, you have to find your clients. It's your responsibility. It's not your manager. It's not your general manager. There is no one to help you. There is no one to save you. You have your shift, and you must find your clients at the gym floor. So I found myself, I was shocked. Honestly, first few weeks, my ex-manager is going to watch this podcast 100%. So hello, Ivan, and thank you for everything. He was so good. I would say his emotional intelligence is so high because he realized that I'm in shock. I was in shock. I was just sitting in the corner, observing everything, and I wasn't sure that I'm going to be able to manage that, especially because back then, before COVID, people were traveling a lot. And like Christmas and New Year is behind the corner because I arrived to Dubai November, and then it's December and January. So people are traveling to visit their families. They are traveling for holidays. They are traveling to celebrate. And you're just standing there at the gym floor trying to build your own business inside of their business.
Yeah.
Because if you don't build your business inside of their business, you're not going to be able to survive. You have to go back home because you don't have enough money to cover the basics. So I used to spend like 15, 16 hours a day at the gym.
I won't offer any further criticism of that other than to echo what you've said and say that's very smart.
Very smart, yeah.
We'll call it smart.
We'll say, yeah.
We'll say it's very smart.
We're going to be very wise when it comes to choosing the words.
Yeah.
That was very smart. So actually you are forced to build your business inside of their business
And
if you want to survive.
When you do get clients, you're also paying commission to the gym.
Of course, because the commission is, it's 60%, it's 40% for you. Only if you make more than 120 private classes a month, then your commission is, you get more money. But if you're under 120 a month, then they are taking 60% from every single class.
Gangsters will give you a better deal than that. What? Who said that? Yes, interesting. Very smart.
Smart. So actually, if you want to survive, if you want to succeed, you have to be like very organized. You have to be ready to suffer. Ready to suffer. You have to accept the fact that you're going to suffer. Because staying 16 hours a day at the gym is suffering.
Oh, yes. I would not enjoy that at all. I'd see that as a vision of hell. You left the gym and you set up your own business.
Yes.
So what is it that you do now?
I have my own app, and the 95% of my business is online. So I'm online coach, and 5% of my business is still live, like face to face with my clients. And yeah, that's it now. At this moment, this is what I do.
So you're predominantly, would you say you're a strength coach, or how would you describe?
Yeah, 100%. It's I'm strength coach.
But de facto, you're also doing body recomposition for
yes,
women.
actually,
I've
because
seen your results on your Instagram.
Yeah, because I work with Gen Pop. It's not me preparing athletes for powerlifting meets. I'm not doing that, and I don't have that knowledge, and I don't want to go that far, honestly. But I'm strength coach for Gen Pop.
Okay.
So yes, it's strength training, and I would say 85 90% of my clients are female.
How did you and I become friends?
Yes, that's interesting question. So I started following you 2 years ago. 2 years ago on Instagram.
For what happy reason?
Yes.
What joyous
Because
story.
I found myself in Alcatraz again, but this time emotional Alcatraz with my narcissistic ex. So I wanted to find my way out for that horrible relationship. It was one day, I remember very well, I was driving and I told myself, dreams are... I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream, but just I'm living my nightmare. Literally.
So you're thinking dreams come true.
Dreams come true, but
nightmares come true
sometimes,
as
yes,
well.
they are dreams as well. So actually, I was living my nightmare.
What was your nightmare? What were the coordinates of your nightmare?
This is not a joke, actually, because I used to have nightmares where I feel stuck, where I'm somewhere very high, but I can't reach the ground. And then I feel like that's it. I have to spend my life here. And usually I'm surrounded, I'm not like high in the woods or high in like beautiful mountains. I'm high in something like Mars. It's always full of stones. And it's always like yellow and red before Dubai. I'm not talking about like having the nightmares in Dubai. Because when I'm talking like this, if you ever go to Ras Al Khaimah, you can see this kind of environment.
Like a barren landscape.
Yes, it's everything is yellow, everything is red. I'm very high, there is no water, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, I can't reach the ground, and I'm somewhere at the edge, but I don't want to die. And it's this horrible feeling where I feel suffocated, where I feel choked, where I feel like I don't have any power, I can't change anything. Literally, I can't change nothing. I'm completely stuck. All my talents, all my desires, all my dreams, which are not nightmares, are taken away from me. And actually, I'm the one who is responsible for that. But now it's too late to do something to save myself because I'm that high and there is no water, there is no trees, there is no like animals, there is nothing. I'm alone, stuck here, that's it. It was the same feeling. Same feeling I had with my ex, like I used to have in my nightmares. So
did you go on YouTube and look up, did you know what the term narcissism was?
No. Actually, I was reading a lot, like psychology books and stuff. So I've heard about this term, but I've never recognized that I was surrounded by narcissists from a very young age. So what was your question? Sorry.
How did you?
How I found you. My ex-therapist back then sent me a link where you were talking about narcissism. Because still I wasn't brave enough to face the fact that my ex is not going to change, that he has certain issues, and there is nothing I can do to change him and to make our relationship better because he just doesn't want to change. So she sent me this video, just maybe Stella is finally gonna understand and accept this fact that she is in a narcissistic abusive relationship. And yes, exactly this is what happened. I watched this video and that moment I realized that I'm stuck in narcissistic abusive relationship.
How did you escape? When we met, you were already out, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah, when we met, I was already out.
But my vaping was a trigger for you.
Yes, it was triggering me a lot because actually my ex is drug addict. or was drug addict. I don't know. Maybe he's saint now and saved, and maybe he changed.
Maybe.
Who knows? I don't want to know, honestly. I don't mind. Good for him. So yes, he used to smoke all the time. I mean, all the time. And sometimes when I asked him how he managed his job when he's high on drugs, he told me, I found my way with my clients and it works very well, so it's none of your business. And that was triggering me a lot. I mean, we are living together, we are sharing our rent, we are sharing our table, we are sharing our bed. We share everything. And here we are half, and you have kind of zero respect. It's none of your business. I mean, even if I was his roommate, it would be my business because I'm paying like 50% of the rent of that apartment back then. So yeah, he didn't want to change anything. And every single time when I was criticizing him, and I started reading a lot about addictions and the narcissists as well. And back then I was reading a book from Daniel Amen, Your Brain is Always Listening. It's amazing book. And he talks a lot about even the vaping and consuming the drugs and stuff and how it affects the brain. And then I used to read those books. And I remember I've read as well, The Body Keeps the Score. And I showed him certain facts. And he was just like, I don't mind. I feel good. I found my way and I think I'm very successful and you're just like too ambitious. And I'm happy to share my life with you and you always want more. I don't know, why should I stop? I'm paying everything on time. I mean, we have decent life. What do you want? It was kind of actually manipulation, I would say.
What was it that led you to be able to leave the relationship in the end?
I realized that I'm ugly and fat. And yeah, this was the first thing first. One morning, again, this story with one morning, but actually it works like that with me. I woke up and I have this photo on my Instagram. I was looking at myself and I couldn't recognize myself. I had like 10 kilos extra on my skeleton. Usually I'm like tanned all year round. I was so white as a ghost and fat. And even my face was kind of ugly. I don't consider myself like beautiful or whatever. It depends on someone's taste. For someone, maybe I'm beautiful. For someone, I'm just like whatever. But back then, I was literally, I would say, kind of ugly. My face changed. I gained 10 kilos. I was white. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, this is not me. I have to do something. And then I realized, okay, I don't have enough money to live alone in Dubai because you have to pay all the deposits. Literally, you would need a fortune, like small fortune to start your life in Dubai. So I realized that
yes,
I realized like, although I'm living here for 2 years, I need like big amount of money to live alone. I don't want to give up because of him, because alternative was like, I had an alternative and that was going back home to split just because of him, because he's drug addicted and he doesn't want to change. And then I have to give up everything. No, I'm going to give up this relationship and I'm going to find my way out. That was in my head. And then I started my diet. I remember very well, we are talking now about Daniel Amen again. He's a psychiatrist, actually. And Jim Quick as well. I was reading his book, Limitless. So yes, at that moment, January, 3.5 years ago, ish, I was reading Limitless. And he said every single morning you have to have 1 cup of kefir. And that's good for your first brain, that's your guts. And then second thing you need to consume if you want to stay healthy and think like more clear, you have to start your morning with dark chocolate. So I started my transformation inside out with cup of kefir and dark chocolate every single morning. Consciously, I made decision. I'm not going to think about tips, tricks, hacks, whatever to convince this person to stop abusing drugs. I'm going to start changing myself. I'm going to start saving my money, and I'm going to find my way out. And it took 5 months. From January till May, it took 5 months. I was 10 kilos less. I was tanned. My face was in better condition, let's say. And I had some money, so I left. I left in May, so I spent like 4 months in Croatia. And in autumn, I had enough money to start my life in Dubai from the scratch as a freelance. So yeah, already I had visa and everything because I started my freelancing. I think few months before I realized that I'm fat and ugly. So yeah, I spent 4 months in Croatia, and then in September, 2.5 years ago, I started living alone. And actually, I can say that I found my peace. Yeah.
If people want to do the body recomposition that you do, where are they best off starting? Where can they find you online?
My page on Instagram, Strong with Stella.
Strong with Stella?
Yes.
They can stalk the people I follow, and they can find you.
Yes.
And via the Instagram. Stella, thank you very much for talking to me today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. We'll do this again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and for your attention. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Hey folks, if you would like to learn how to get strong with me, click this link below and get my course.